Hello! Welcome back, welcome back. It has been quite some time since my last episode, though that doesn't necessarily mean I haven't been busy. However, I'd like to briefly go into the reason for my absence. And we're gonna be accompanied by this pigman here. So, saying that this has been a difficult last few months would be an echo of what the rest of the world is saying. And I realize that there are many worse off than others in this time, but it doesn't lessen the struggles of those more fortunate. My work schedule has changed dramatically, causing my sleep schedule to as well. The kids being out of school because of the pandemic, it's checking things up, no doubt. But this isn't a pity party by any means, so I won't go into detail on things, so I will just say it's been an adjustment. I was around in Discord and some Twitch streams when I had free time, but I had to take a break from being active in conversation and even playing on Gnembon. But don't worry, things are in good hands there. I was just not able to provide help managing as much as I used to, nor time on projects on the server. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but my mental bandwidth was at its limit. I just had to step away for a while. However, things have begun to level out, and my schedule seems to be consistent, so I think it's safe to say you can expect content to come out regularly again. So, like I said, I've been busy in my single player, and I've got some things to show off. Without further ado, enjoy the episode. Hey yo! Welcome back to Voluminum. This is episode 17. And with 116 well on its way, I decided to make sure I had a good stockpile of gold on my hands, seeing as how beneficial bartering will be. The donut works fine, and I still use it for repairing gear most of the time, and I've gotten quite a bit of gold out of it. But I wanted an even better one. One with a looting 3 option, so I can get even more gold, but also has a much better storage and crafting interface than the janky one I've been using. So what better timing, in fact? Gnembon released a video on a great one that doesn't rely on player aggro, but turtle eggs. I won't go into detail too much on this, but I'll link his video in the description if you want to check it out. It's a great farm. I didn't just want to build it by itself. You know me and the rules I've set for myself in this world. I'm not against building someone else's farm and using it in my world, so long as I fully understand it and add my own touch to it. So I played around and created for a while with different designs for decoration, and after a few days of trying things out, I landed on this. Yes! I'm not sure what to really call it or say about it. I know I wanted something menacing and darker, so the chains came in nicely, I think. A lot of people I see will claim they're bad builders or not good at it. The way I see it is everyone can be. You just have to spend enough time and effort on something, and you can come up with something nice. It's a skill for some that come naturally, but for others like myself, it's just a matter of dedicating the time and trying things out. I'm happy with the end result here, but I'd love to hear your feedback and some suggestions maybe. Alright, so let's go down to the middle here where the action happens. So this looks like kind of a mess right now, and that's something that I need to attend to very soon. I've just got a bot here to kind of demonstrate what's going on, in case you don't go over and watch the Gnembon video. But they're falling down here, they're being killed, their drops are being picked up by these minecarts, go down into these hoppers. This is just a dropper circuit. This is in the world download of Gnembon's video. Basically the same as this. I just made some adjustments. I took out the cobwebs from all these, put glass around to where it doesn't exactly need to be centered, but this one in the middle it does because it'll get stuck on this block here. So I left the cobweb in the middle, took the rest away, and just added glass around so items hang around less like these are. But like I said, these will line up in the middle and drop straight down, and the rest of these will just be pushed at, like you see here, and then pushed along these double speed item sorters that are probably in excess. I don't think I needed this many. Oh, I thought I saw an item. I don't know how that got there. So this is a double speed box loader design by C5. I believe I found it in the storage tech section of the TMA Discord. It works really well. It has box detection, so you don't have to place all these boxes. I can just load them up in this chest here, and they'll be spit out automatically as the dispensers behind them fill up. And so these boxes are filled, I think, all the way down to this 5th or 6th one are nuggets, and the rest are ingots. Actually, it might be more. It might be like all the way down to this one, or to this pumpkin at least, for nuggets, and the rest are ingots. Because obviously you'll get a lot more ingots than nuggets. And the rest of it is just stored in this cactus. I don't necessarily care about trying to set up a smelter for the armor or tools. I think the sheer amount of gold you get from this is just good enough. So just moving down here, once they're put into shulker boxes, they're sent along here in this hopper line down these droppers into this dispenser. And once a shulker box is in that dispenser, showed this before, it's a shulker box sorter. So there are items sorted here. And so, like I said, I've shown this before in the box sorter I have in the starting area, except for more farms, but in this case it's just these two items, just nuggets and gold ingots, because that's all we're loading into boxes. So once they come along this line here, they'll be sent down, sorted into their own line, and you have ingots, I think, going through this one and up this dropper line, and nuggets going through this dropper line. And so they come back up all the way from down there after being loaded into boxes, after being sorted from within the boxes. They come up these dropper lines into their own chests. So I'm in spectator, just like I said, I wanted to show off this farm as it's being used. So I gave my my sword to a bot just to kind of, so I can easily just go around in spectator. And so these are crafting stations that El Mango showed off recently. Oh, I say recently, I think it's probably been a couple months now. Let's see if this has any. Oh, this does. Ooh, nice. I can kind of show this off now. So let's hit this. So this should let me take these, craft them into. Let's toss these out of here. Ah! Why am I invisible? Ah! Ah! Okay, relogging fixed it. Alright. Anyways, so we'll take these gold nuggets out, and notice that the box isn't broken. It has to be closed and then it breaks. Some magic back there. Again, I'll link the video on this. I'm not going to explain all this right now. But I'm glad that works, though. I'm glad this dropper line works in there. It's actually done this in survival yet. A lot of testing in creative, but not survival. Anyways, so these are crafted into bars. Craft. And put into this shulker box. Now, once this one's full, it'll break. Be sent down into this hopper line. And normally we'd go in this chest, but I'm pulling items from this chest down to this line. Being sent over. So once they're crafted into ingots, they'll be in this chest here, which will... Oh, do I have any? No, none yet. Yeah, like I said, ingots are a little bit more rare than nuggets to get from pigment drops. So, take a little bit longer to fill up a whole box. But anyways, once our ingots are here, we'll craft those into blocks and put them in this shulker box. And then finally they're broken and sit down this hopper line around behind me here into these chests. And this is where we'll store our gold blocks. A lot of AFKing to do, but this is where we'll store all the gold. And there are some more dropper lines here that go around that way and around this side here. These are just for the empty shulkers, so once this is empty, it would have broken, come down here, and been stored up here. Yep, there it is. And then once this one's broken, once the ingots come over here, and I craft the ingots in a block stored in there, when this box is broken, it goes down to this chest, and then over into this one. And this is where the empty boxes are, obviously. Just a quick rundown if you didn't know how this crafting box solution works. It's just faster to do it in these modules here than to just have the gold farm set up with double chests like I had before. Dropping all the gold on the ground, craft it, put it into a chest, yada yada. But now, one thing I didn't do in creative was figure out this area. This is kind of bare bones here. The way I get in and out of the farm right now is just to fly over. I think the hub, in quotations, is that way. And I just fly in here through the middle, come down, and then land around here. And it's just kind of, I mean, it obviously works, right? But for some reason I die here. I won't be able to just run back over and come up normally with no elytra or anything to get my items. So I kind of want to come up with a design for like a room here and then maybe a way up, a little elevator. So I landed on something simple. Decided that since this wasn't exactly symmetrical in this room here, I just kind of laid out a little design for the inside. It didn't have to be big because this area is small and very few use cases, just for the farm and then crafting and then taking our storage. I think it's simple, but it works. I just have a little service door over here if I wanted to get down to the storage and work on things. And then I got a little door here is where I come up and down, all the way from down there if I need to get in. I just come up. I think that works. I actually really went back and forth a lot whether or not to try out something called dropper auto crafting. It's another carpet feature introduced by Gnembon that isn't the auto crafting table, but you use a dropper to automatically craft and spit out the desired item. The dilemma here is it isn't vanilla, and things like that are often frowned upon by the tech community. The biggest draw, I think, from sticking to vanilla is to be able to show accomplishments within the base game and no outside help or changing the game mechanics. And that statement can vary widely. However, there are some that consider changing the vanilla client settings whatsoever makes it immediately not vanilla. And on the other hand, you have players that most of the tech community falls into that have mostly agreed on adding client-only mods such as Mini HUD, Optifine, and Mini Maps to just improve the information about things in the game and make the experience a little more manageable. Being able to add things like waypoints and getting specific information that the F3 screen might not have. Not to mention how obnoxious the F3 screen is in the first place. Also, even changing the vanilla jar to carpet to have a much more control over things during testing, for instance, is also accepted as still vanilla. And then you've got those that push the vanilla mechanics a little farther or adjust them to things that have been requested to be added to the game. This is the category that I think I fall under. Things like Datapacks or carpet rules that add or change the way something happens to the game, like respawning Shulkers or Husks only spawning in desert temples, auto crafting or renewable sponges. Then of course you have completely modded and Spigot Bucket, which no one likes. I think that Minecraft is perfect for those with creative and or imaginative minds. It's for everyone. The way someone plays the game could be for a challenge they tackle for themselves or with others, or it can be for those that want to adjust it to their liking, to enjoy it in their own way. I say all this to say, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments how you play the game, whether it be fully vanilla, partially, or vanilla plus, as I like to call it. As for what I'll be doing in the single player series, I don't want to make a definitive statement as to things I will or will not add, but along with what I said in the very first episode, I want the series to stay as close to vanilla as possible. I think it's important to keep things relatable, so if someone starts watching, they aren't confused or put off by certain things. Like I did with Dragon Egg Bedrock breaking, it wasn't something I wanted to add at first, seeing as how it's technically patched in this version, but since it was universally used so much in 1.12, I didn't mind adding it back, especially with how useful it is. So things like autocrafting and movable tile entities being enabled in this series, I'd love to hear your feedback on that as well. It's kind of in the air for me. I think it would be fun personally to use those kind of things, but I also don't want to stray so far away from the base game. The series isn't as much fun to watch. Well, I think that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.